You're from Romania.
I'm from Romania.
Oh my goodness. When did you come here to the United States, or when did your family
Came here in 92. My dad was here, I would think, 5 years before we got here. So then he brought his kids, and then we brought my mom later, like 10 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it hard to adjust to when you guys came over? And
Yeah, it was very hard because you don't speak any English. We didn't go to school.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, we just kind of made some friends that spoke Romanian. It wasn't many. And then we just picked up the language, watching TV, talking to people.
I find your story really fascinating, because Mike's told me a little bit about you in the past. Coming from Romania, you don't speak the language, you moved to New York, and then eventually you own a restaurant in New York? Like, how does that, how the hell
Well,
did any
yeah,
of
my
this-
story is really crazy.
Yeah, how does any
I
of
think
this
we need
happen?
like 2 hours of
Yeah, it
of
just
your
sounds
podcast.
like that's just a huge leap, right? To come from that to,
Yeah. Yeah, well, put it this way. I'm going to just briefly take you through because it's so much to talk about. Yeah. So I came here in 92. I was 16 and a half. I moved out, I guess 6 months later, I moved out on my own. So I didn't go to school. I dropped out of school. I only went to school for 4 months, but I didn't speak any English, so it didn't make any sense to me at the time. Like, I'm just going there. I don't even know what they're talking about.
There's nothing to learn there for me. And
I'm done.
Don't worry, Mike and I felt the same way. I felt like they were speaking a
And we
different
can speak the language. We still didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I got a bartending job, which was crazy because I was only 17. But back in like New York, Queens area, you were able in like those local bars to get a job like that young.
How tall were you?
5'7". Yeah, that's where everything started. I fell in love with people, with the restaurant, with making drinks and the atmosphere. And that was my goal, to get a restaurant, to get a bar. Then I started working in Manhattan for this restaurant that I bought, actually. So I started as a coat check girl. So I did coat check for...
You're like 19 or 20 years old?
I was 24.
So it's interesting. I mean, both you guys grew up fast. You were some of those old pictures I see that you post on Instagram sometimes. You're 15, but you look like you're 20, 25.
Yeah.
You guys both had to grow up quick.
Mentally, I think I felt like I was 30 when I was 16. Because having the life that I had by then already, for me I was too mature.
Yeah.
So I wasn't hanging out in clubs. I wasn't smoking pot. I've never done drugs in my life. I worked in restaurants and bars all my life. I don't drink. I don't get drunk, which is weird, right?
Which works great for me.
I'm very responsible. I like to be on time for meetings. It was just me, just growing up. I've learned from seeing other people fail, I guess. And that was my family. I said, I don't want to be like that. I want to be different. So anyway, I got the bartending job after being a coat check girl, which was like 7-8 months later. And then I bartended for 5 years, and then I bought the restaurant from the owner. And it was great.
Was that like a goal? Like, did you set out to do that?
It was a goal to be a restaurant owner, but that wasn't my goal to be the owner of that restaurant.
Wow.
But it worked out perfect because I knew all the people there.
I think I've been to that restaurant. I think we went there after the premiere of...
You had.
Oh.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a chance to
So
go
you've been in
there.
Nebraska.
It was really
Yeah.
cool, and we had an amazing time with my entire my dad's
that's
side
why
of the
I
family.
forgot
some
you
of my
went
mom's
there.
side of the family. It was
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It's crazy though. It's people
It's
like
a wild story.
yeah. It's when she told me after we met a while later. Just first of all, New York's scary. Yeah. And now if you don't speak the language, you're coming from another country, and then you jump out on your own at 17, not speaking the language, and become a success. What's everybody else's? It's just one of those things. It's like, wow, you created something. More people, and I love those kind of stories. When somebody goes, I'm not going to be beat down or beat up, but they rise up like that. It's a cool thing for me.
Did you learn the language kind of through the restaurant, just from hearing the language over and over again?
I just sort of just picked it up from having, talking to people, the restaurant. I mean, I still run into certain words that I don't know what they meant. And I don't know how to pronounce this word, honey. And he goes, I don't know how to say it either.
Yeah, we're great for each other that way.
Yeah. But listen, not being in school and not doing what other kids are doing, at my age at the time, I think it turned out pretty good. So at the restaurant for 17 years, almost 16 and a half years. And as you know, I ran Muscle and Fitness Hers. I was the editor-in-chief for that for 4 years.
And that's how you guys ended up meeting, right? What's the story behind
Yeah,
that? How'd you
yeah,
actually meet?
Well, we attend, like even before the magazine, we kind of went in the bodybuilding business, as you're going to see. You go to the same shows. So the Olympiad, the Arnold, Expo.
I was the
and all
crazy
that.
dog guy.
So, yeah, you were. You still are the
Guy
guy.
running around with his dog on
What's with this dude and his dogs? I don't get it.
So many dogs.
He's a weird dude. And now she's dating me.
Yeah, but we became friends, I guess, at the Arnold, and then that's where everything started.
Yeah, I met her. We were judging. And I think one of the things that I noticed about her was she's very straight and she does her job and she does her things. And I was kind of jokey and goofing around. And so I'm judging this, I think it was the model search for Muscle and Fitness at the Olympia. And she was there and she was being very, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. Hey, how you doing? And she's like, dude, you're weird. Kind of vibe, like, settle down, kid. So I sent her a little message, and I think after that we just started joking around, talking to each other. I made her smile. That was the first thing you got to do, make her smile. And then we hung out.
That might be tough to make this one.
Yeah, that's it was. Well, I was scared of her.
Well, he always says that I'm so different from all the other girls that he's been with before, dated.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a difference between dating girls and dating a woman.
Right.
And then I got so much respect for her, just to grow up that way, because we went to school and we spoke the language and we did our best, but we learned stuff even if we couldn't read it, and we learned stuff, and she didn't even make it through a portion of the school we did before she had to start, and she skipped so much. She didn't talk about how some of the adults left life and left her there to raise her brother and sister on her own at a very young age that I can't comprehend.
Pictured in my head with you being so mature so fast. Is that some of that came?
I had some responsibilities that either I liked it or not. I didn't have that childhood. Like, I didn't have any toys ever. Like, I didn't know what that was. Toys and playing and all that,
So if you see somebody, kind of feeling sorry for themselves, you're kind of like, hey, it's bullshit. Like, pick it up, and of course you're going to have these sad feelings here and there. But
I don't think
suck it up.
Yeah, I mean, I've met people that went through hard times.
Yeah.
But I think what I went through, it was pretty harsh. So, to me, it's like, exactly, pick it up and move on.
You're right.
And I don't get stressed about things no longer. I used to back in the day, because it doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
I let things go.
That takes a while to mature, because like when you're young, somebody throws a punch, even if it's not a literal punch, you automatically, your fist is balled up too, and it causes a lot of stress and causes you a lot of problems.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. Yeah. I've learned that being stressed about certain things that you can't do nothing about.
She's not just saying this. She's really that way.
It's true. It's no need to be stressed about it. Just let it go. Move on.
I hold on to things. And she just looks at me and like,
yeah, I'm getting.
You're getting better?
I'm getting better. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm a sensitive guy. I hold on to things. Things bug me.
I kind of like things to hold on to a little bit too, though. Like the old football mentality of the other team said something about your team, and then the coach would pin that up on the wall in the locker room, and it gets the whole team fired up. I do that a little bit. Somebody says something about me or something, I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good energy that I'm going to use. I'm going to put that over here. You give me some firepower. Going into battle, going into a training session or something like that. You remember that, like, okay, they don't think I could do this, or somebody doesn't think I could do that. I'll show them.
And see, I'm like that. I like that. She's not like that. She doesn't have to grab it from other people and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn that kind of stuff. But it's a good balance, and she doesn't try to change me for how I am.
No,
so that's
not at all. No. And I hate asking for favors because then you always, you owe me, or, I hate that. No favors. I'm good.
Are you maybe somewhat disturbed by some of the, like, strong woman movement? Because sometimes it's maybe I mean, it can go one of two ways. Like, it's great that people are recognizing that women should be able to be whatever they want to be, and they should be able to be CEOs and so on of companies and bosses and things like
They
that.
could be. I think
Yeah.
any woman could do that.
Right.
As long as you have the cojones
Right.
to get up there and get it done.
Right.
You know, I hate depending on anybody. You know, I like to be independent, have my own stuff, my own money, my own clothes, my own car. If I want to buy something, I'll buy it. I don't have to ask anybody, you know. And I think that it just kind of, and you like that. I think you like that about me, being independent.
100%. That changed me from what I've dated. I didn't want to date a strong woman from New York. I wanted to nurture
Is she
her.
checking in on you a lot? Like, hey, like, you know, checking in to like see if you landed and all these different things when you're traveling and stuff like that, or she's not very needy or that way.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't check in like that.
Yeah.
No, she's. You
Sounds
can
very
see
similar.
how she was raised, and I know her background and how she was raised, and how disciplined she is, and you kind of yeah, it's just one of those things that's completely different than anybody I've ever dated, which changed my whole life. I got better dating her. I realized early on I had to become different to date her.
Yeah.
You know, I did have to give up the video games, and I had to give up little things, and I had to give up things that bug her, are like letting people get to you, holding on to things.
Man, that helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. But it was, I was learning so late in life on partnership.
Right.
Because she's not, she doesn't want a relationship. She wants to build an empire, and dealing with a girl that's, listen, I do get up at 3. I do train at 4. I'll train hard. I get a meal in. If I need it, I'll take a nap. Then I'll get up and I'll get going again. She doesn't. She gets up at 3, or if not a little before that, and doesn't stop. And there's no stopping. I mean, like at any
I'm
point.
a doer. I like to do things. I
I'll
don't
say,
mind
okay,
it.
I'm going to step back and just relax here. I'm going to do some whatever it is. Relax, watch a TV, watch NFL, or watch a football game. She's still going. It doesn't stop. And I'm like, wow, that's just an engine that just doesn't shut down. And she doesn't let things bug her, which is amazing, because I let things bug me.
Yes, you do. And I always say, you know, live your life. Spend some money. Buy a new car.